Welcome to The Explainer. Ever wonder what makes a great story, well, great? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify literature. We're breaking down the essential tools you need to understand pretty much any story you come across.
So let's just dive right in with a huge question. What is it that makes a story truly unforgettable? I mean, think about a book you just couldn't put down, or a movie that sticks with you years later. Is it the crazy plot, the characters, or something else?
Before we get into the nitty-gritty of how stories are put together, let's just take a quick step back and ask, why? Why are we, as human beings, so completely drawn to stories in the first place?
You know, it's about so much more than just killing time or being entertained. We read to see ourselves, to find new ways of looking at our own lives. And sometimes, yeah, it's just a fantastic escape from the daily grind.
All right, now for the fun part. Let's get into what I like to call the universal building blocks. These are the three core things you'll find in absolutely every story. I don't care if it's a massive epic novel or, a 30-second commercial.
So first up is the what of the story, and that's its theme. Just think of it as the big idea, the main point the author's trying to get across about life or human nature. It's not just the topic, like love, it's the specific message about love. Next up, the who, the characters. I mean, these are the engines of the story, right? They're the ones driving everything forward. We follow their journey, we root for them. Honestly, without characters we care about, even the coolest plot in the world just falls flat.
And when it comes to characters, you can pretty much sort them into two main camps. First, you've got your round characters. These are the ones that feel like real people. They're messy, they're complex, they might even surprise you. Then you've got flat characters. Now these guys are a bit simpler. They usually have one main job, like being the funny sidekick or the pure evil villain, and they're there to help the main story along.
And last but not least, we have the where and when, the setting. And I gotta tell you, this is way more than just a background. The setting is what creates the whole vibe, the mood. Sometimes the setting is so powerful it practically becomes a character itself. I mean, a story set in a shiny, high-tech city is going to feel completely different from one in a creepy old haunted house, right?
All right, so we've got our what, the theme, our who, the characters, and our where, the setting. Now we need to talk about the how, and this is a huge one, point of view. Basically, whose eyes are we seeing this whole thing through? So the first big decision an author has to make is this. Are we inside a character's head, or are we watching from the outside? If it's a first-person narrator, we're right there with them, hearing their thoughts, seeing what they see. It feels super personal. But a third-person narrator is more like a floating camera, It can pull back and give us a much bigger picture.
But wait, it gets even cooler with third person. You can have what's called an omniscient narrator. This narrator is basically like a god. They know everything about everyone. They can jump from head to head and tell us what every single character is thinking. Or you can have a limited narrator. This one sticks close to just one character's shoulder, so we only know what that person knows. It's a great way to build mystery and suspense.
Okay, check out this example. We see the action, he wouldn't look at her. But the real juice, the real drama, is what's happening in Fenella's mind. She gets a shilling and immediately thinks, I must be going away forever. Because we are locked in her perspective, we feel her panic and her confusion right along with her. It's so effective.
Okay, so let's recap. We have our building blocks, theme, character, setting, and point of view. Now, let's just take a quick peek at how these tools get used in a few different forms of literature. Let's start with prose, regular written fiction. On one end of the spectrum, you've got the massive novel. These things can cover generations, juggle a huge cast of characters, they're sprawling. Then on the other end, you have the short story. A short story is much more like a photograph. It's designed to capture one single, powerful moment in a person's life. It's all about focus. Then you've got drama. This is where those same elements are brought to life on a stage. For a play, almost everything has to be shown through what the characters say and what they do. It's all about that dialogue and action right there in front of you.
And finally, there's poetry. If a novel is a feast, poetry is like a single, perfectly crafted, flavor-packed morsel. It's all about being incredibly precise. People call it a telegraphic style, because every single word is chosen to pack the biggest possible punch in the smallest amount of space. It's all about imagery and sound and feeling.
So after all that, what's the big takeaway? Well,
You've now got a literary toolkit. It's a basic set of tools you can use to take apart and understand pretty much any story you ever encounter.
And you can break it down into a really simple 3-step process. Step 1, try to figure out the theme. What's the what? Step 2, look at those building blocks. How do the characters and setting work together to build up that theme? And finally, step 3, think about the author's style. How does the form and the specific words they choose create a certain feeling? That's it.
With this new toolkit, the next book you pick up or even the next movie you watch isn't just going to be a story anymore. It's going to be this whole experience that you can understand and appreciate on a totally different level. So, I guess the only question left is, what story are you going to see differently now?